Alright guys, once again, time for my quick thoughts as I did just finish up watching the entire series of Extras, which was not very difficult to do as this is only 13 episodes long, and that is spanning 2 seasons and 1 series finale. Yes, only 13 episodes. You can marathon this entire series in one night if you please. And why so short? I have no idea, because I thought this was a fantastic dramedy, and I know most people would probably disagree and say no, it's a straight up comedy, and I understand why. It is very funny. It'll have you laughing the entire way through. Very, very, very funny show. However, I think the underlying story is definitely a great drama. It's all about this this guy working in the British film industry, played by Ricky Gervais, who is trying to work himself up in that industry. He is just an extra, as the name of the series states, when we first start the series out, and he's just that guy standing in the background. But of course, he takes himself seriously. He wants to be a serious actor. He wants to build himself up and hopefully someday be some, leading man out in Hollywood doing these great films. That's where he wants to be someday, but of course, it is very hard to work his way up in the industry to that point. And I love the fact that his character is your average Joe. He's an everyday man. He's not goofy, he's not wacky, he's not, this crazy character. He's just, for the most part, an average Joe. He screws up sometimes, but we all do. So I really like this character, and I like that, again, that he's not some wacky guy. I love that. But the hilarity comes into play with his agent and his best friend. Now, those two are a bit nuts. His agent is a complete waste of space, is not doing his job, is really just only an agent in name. He really has no other clients, I mean, with the exception of, like, one other guy. So he's really doing nothing. He's a complete bumbling idiot, does not do his job at all. And then his best friend Maggie, who's also an extra, she is not exactly the sharpest tool in the shed, never knows when to shut up, always says the wrong thing, and every time Ricky Gervais' character gets himself up a few more rungs of that ladder, working his way up in the industry, one of these two do something stupid to just bring him back down to that bottom rung. Either they say something stupid or just do some stupid move or something that really just hurts his career, and anytime he get a few steps up, they just bring him right back down. And again, that's where most of the hilarity ensues, and that's where the really funny parts come. And I love those characters, and they make you laugh the entire way through. And just watching Ricky Gervais deal with these two is just hilarious. It's awesome. So, like I said, a bit of a dramedy, and a drama in his story, because again, it is a story of him working his way up in this industry, and you watch him go from being an extra to eventually actually reaching his stardom and getting quite famous and letting it all go completely to his head, and then you watch his eventual self-destruction of his career, and then, going into, being nothing again. So you feel really bad for this character. You're struggling, you're hoping, you're rooting for him to eventually get his stardom. He does, and then he lets it all get to his head and become a complete jerk, and you hate the guy, and then, he's doing really bad things. He's like pushing his friends away and whatnot, and his agent away. He does all this horrible stuff, so you're hating him, and then you watch him self-destruct, and then you kind of feel bad for him again, because at the end, he's really out of it, and you feel really sorry for the guy, because he's kind of pathetic at the point towards the end of this series and whatnot. And then, of course, he comes back at the very end to redeem himself in the series finale, and I think it's just great. So again, I loved this series. I love the fact that you get really invested in these characters, especially Ricky Gervais' character, the main character. You get very, 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 very invested in like what is happening to this guy and where he will be and where his career is going. Will he make it? Will he not? When he self-destructs, what's going to happen? Can he bring himself back up? Who knows? You're trying to follow this character and see where he's going, and again, you're kind of rooting for him at times. You're hating him in other times, and even the supporting cast, again, his friends and whatnot, and his agent, even though they're kind of idiots and they're screwing things up all the time, you really realize they do have, feelings as well, especially at the end when he lets all the stardom get to his head and he pushes them away. You feel really bad for them, especially his best friend, Maggie, who, is still trying to work as an extra, and he could possibly help her, but he's really not. He's not really talking to her anymore because he's a big star now, and you feel really, really horrible for her. She's really struggling. In fact, she ends up, I don't want to get too much, but let's just say at the end of the series, she's really, really struggling. Same thing with his agent, who he basically kicks out of the picture. He's hurting too. So you feel really bad for these characters who, again, are idiots, but towards the end of the series, you realize, wow, they really do have feelings, and these are real people. They might not be, again, the sharpest tools in the shed, but they do have feelings, and you feel really bad for them. So, again, a great series. I would highly recommend it. It is super, super funny. Again, you're going to be laughing the entire way through. Every episode also has a guest star, which is great. I love people like Orlando Bloom when he shows up, and he constantly just over and over and over again is trying to stress the fact that, on Pirates of the Caribbean, all the girls wanted him and not Johnny Depp, and obviously you could tell that he's BSing it, and nobody wanted him. Everybody wanted Johnny Depp. Patrick Stewart, one of the funniest, because the whole time he's talking about how he wants to see women naked, and he wrote all these movies and whatnot where girls basically just get naked. He could see girls naked, so it's hilarious. I love it. So a lot of the hilarity also ensues with all these guest stars who are kind of like making fun of themselves. So again, it's just excellent series. I would highly recommend it. You're gonna get super invested in these characters. You're gonna be laughing all the way through. It is definitely one to see. The only downfall with this series is the fact that it is only 13 episodes long. I wish it would have just gone on forever. I wish at least each season would have been longer or something. I don't know. I would love to see more stories and more character development, and just find out where these characters go after everything that happens. However, even though, and this is how well written this is, even though it is only 13 episodes long, you don't feel like you're missing anything. Like I said, I want more. I did say I want more character development, but you get plenty of that actually. I would love to see even more story involved, but you get enough of everything to really get invested and care about these characters. So it's amazing what they can do in only 13 episodes. They do a fantastic job. So once again, I would highly recommend checking out Extras. You will not be disappointed. You will love it. You're going to get invested in the characters, and you're going to be laughing the entire way through. So Extras, it's one to definitely see. And again, you can marathon this in one night if you please.